Hi everyone, it's James here from Pro Tools Expert. We are down in the shed, and once again, Paul from Emerging UK has joined me with Horus. Now, once again, he's done his very best pitch to try and get me to part with my hard-earned cash, but so far the wallet is safely in the pocket. But we've been trying, well, one of those things that you never ever get to do, ABCD testing.
Yes.
So, tell the masses, the Pro Tools world, what we've been doing.
Okay, so we've made 4 recordings of James playing his drum kit, and we basically, using 16 inputs of the Horus mic pre's, we connected the Horus directly to his Pro Tools using Core Audio. So it's Core Audio over Ravenna, so it's basically a network-only connection. Recorded all his drums. We then did exactly the same thing again with the Horus mic pre's through the Pro Tools HDX connection from the Horus directly into his HDX card. And then we did the same thing again using the Horus mic pre's, but using the direct out feature. So the signal goes into the Horus through the mic preamp and including level, and then directly out as an analog feed, which we then fed into the Avid HDIO unit, which was connected HDX to the Pro Tools. And then we did the 4th version, which was James's standard setup, which is a plethora of different mic pre's, 500 series APIs, all sorts of stuff, into his Pro Tools Avid HDIO, which is how he normally records. And so we've got 4 examples where we can listen and hear the difference between them.
And they're all very different, aren't they?
They are very different.
So the first one, the first 3 all use the Horus built-in mic pre's.
Yeah.
So the theory is that we've got the same flavour of mic pre across every single mic and every drum, cymbal, overhead, whatever. And even they sound different, don't they?
They do. I'd say the first 2, which was all Horus going either through Ravenna or through HDX, I think sound exactly the same. But the 3rd one was really quite different when we were using the line input. We were using the mic of the Horus, but going line into the HDIO. Definitely less air, less exciting.
For me, it's like the ring on the snare clamps down much, much quicker. I mean, it's subtle. Let's not say you're not going to pick this out at 500 miles, but it's definitely noticeable.
It makes you want to lean towards the EQ and just add a little bit of 10K to everything compared to the first 2. No question.
Yeah, and the last one, it's like we put it back.
Yeah.
But that's my normal spread of mic pre. So there's a Neve, an API, the Focusrite Red, the Warm 500, and the Audient ASP 800, which we've used for kind of the overheads, toms, and the ride mic and hat mic. Basically, shiny things go through the ASP 800.
Yeah.
All the drummy, the guts of the kit, the kick and the snare are going through the 500 series modules. It's been a very interesting test, I think.
It has.
The proof of the metaphorical pudding will be in the listing, I think. So what we're going to do as part of this whole article, this whole review almost, and actually for my own personal interest, if you like, before I go and shell out a small fortune on one of those, let us know what you think. Let us know which ones you prefer. I think, yeah, Paul, you're absolutely right. The first 2 sonically are incredibly similar. From my point of view, playing, it was quite different. I think if I'd done the HDX take first, I think I would have found it quite difficult going back to the Ravenna take. Yeah. Even though it didn't feel like there was a latency, like there was a double hit, because obviously I've got a certain amount of bleed coming through the outside world into the cans. It didn't feel like there was a double hit, but when I went to HDX, running at 64 samples, we were running the Ravenna session at 32 samples. The HDX bottoms out, if you like, at 64 samples. And so everything was running at 64 samples from there on in. But there was definitely a something. I wouldn't say it was a double hit, but it definitely felt like almost a fattening, an over fattening of the note, where you're hearing it
just slightly later.
Yeah. Whereas we didn't get that with the HDX take.
Yeah.
So actually, I think in, say, our conversations kind of offline have been that keeping the HDX platform for a little while at least is going to be the answer to my I/O.
It is, but it's it's a much greater expense for a very, very small advantage in timing, I would say, because the connection with the Ravenna, which is basically just core audio, is still very low. But as you say, it's not enough for anybody to be bothered by it, and if you didn't have that comparison, you wouldn't notice. But the fact that you've got the luxury,
But we do.
it becomes a feel thing. It is literally a matter of about what you're hearing is probably 2 or 3 milliseconds difference, but it's enough to feel it as much as it.
Yeah, I mean, I think from all the other ones, I didn't really hear that much difference in the cans, because obviously at the same time I'm playing drums and I've got drum room bleed going on at the same time.
Yeah.
But certainly coming back in here and listening to the system through the focals and with the Trinnov engaged, oh yeah, it's very, very different. Certainly that Horus into HDIO sounds boxy, sounds muddy, sounds not very nice.
The HDIO definitely added a damping down of the air and the clarity about it, possibly on the bottom end as well. It just kind of narrowed it a little bit compared to, it's a lot more open with the Horus on its own.
So we're not going to do this as a test. All we want you to do is tell us what you think. Because trying to do it as a double-blind test, there are certain things we couldn't control, like the fact that we didn't use the same mic pre's for all 4 takes. That wasn't the point here. The point was to compare the way I could be doing it with the way I have been doing it. So we're going to put these files up as there'll be stereo WAVs, but there'll also be a Pro Tools session. Now, the stereo WAVs will all be mixed exactly the same way, no limiting, no compression, no EQ, no nothing. You'll just hear exactly what we're hearing through the monitors, effectively, but through your own monitors. We'll also then put the Pro Tools session up so you can download it. This is it here behind me. It's pretty straightforward. So you can then zoom in, if you like, on the individual drums and individual instruments so you can hear, to find out if you can hear what we can hear. So let's do that.
Yep, I think there's one thing to add. The 4th version that we've got, which was using all of James's existing outboard stuff, we've tried to replicate or get the volume to tape the same as the others. It's actually quite challenging when you've got 4, 5, 6 different preamp boxes, all different knobs.
Some with notched gain, some with smooth gain.
So there is still a very slight difference in the balance of the 4th one compared to the other 3 because it wasn't the same preamp with all the same settings. But we've got it as close as we can. So in terms of the stereo mix, but you can listen to it individually on the Pro Tools session. So
and if obviously once you've got the Pro Tools session, you can tweak it, and if you think they're not matched quite the same, clip gain, boom, away you go. But for now, Paul, it's been a pleasure. It's been a long day, lots of connectivity and pulling gear in and pushing stuff around, but certainly a worthwhile day. And let us know exactly what you think. But for now, he's been Paul, I've been James from Pro Tools Expert. We'll see you again soon for some more gear talk.